All right, guys, no question. No matter where you live, it seems like in the country, this little jewel right here, the little 2.8, 3.3 range ring swim bait is probably one of the most popular wintertime lures. I mean, people use them all year, me included, but in the wintertime, these little fellows, these little gems right here just excel. And today I'm going to show you something pretty cool. Today I'm going to show you different from what you probably expect. I'm not fixing to do a video about how to fish, how to rig. There's tons of that content out there. I'm going to show you how to make it, how to make your own. So we're fixing to make our own. This is the 2.8 ring swim bait. So here's a few things you're going to need. For those of y'all that are into shooting soft plastic already, you're going to know a lot of these things, but I'm going to try to make this as simple. My goal is when this video is over, when this video is done, you'll know everything you need to get and where to get it to make your own ring swim baits. This is a really cool deal. It's a cool hobby. A lot of guys are now doing this at home. Actually, that's a business, not a hobby. So we're going to start with the plastisol we're going to use. This is LureWorks Porosol Medium. That's what I'm going to make the little ring swim baits out of. I've already got some heated up here in the microwave. Just for sake of time, I went ahead and preheated it. You can see it's still a little bit thick. You see in there how it's still just a little bit thick. So plastisol goes through a gel stage as it's heating, and you can tell this has still got a little gel aspect to it. This is going to be a laminated color that we're going to make. So we're heating 2 different cups. We'll put that back in there. Let's give it about, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half. I'll probably get it there. So here's the color we're going to make today. One of the most popular colors that there is. And I'm actually going to, like I said, I'm going to make this easy. Here's my exact recipe. There may be a little variation for you when you try to do this, because I'm going to do this. Some of this is, the quantities are so small that I'm going to measure them off of drops. But I'm going to show you how I make a drop. And this is going to be the electric shad color. That's a color just about everybody's familiar with. It's that real pretty nice smoky purple glittery flake top with that real translucent off-white violet colored belly. So electric shad, that is the recipe right there. Everything on here is LureWorks. You can see I've got it all here. Everything on here, every dye, every flake, everything on this card is all LureWorks product. Now, you're going to have one of these. This is the mold that we're going to use today. This is the KDM, which is Kirby Design Manufacturing, 2.8 rib swim bait mold. This is a 10 cavity mold. I'm going to show you what I really like about this. So if you look at most swim bait molds with a paddle tail are laid on their side. And that forces you to inject each one individually, which for those of y'all that make plastics, you know what a time drain that is. But this bait is designed with a tail plate on it so that you're actually going to be able to shoot a laminated color in all 10 baits at the same time. The thin side is going to be the top portion of the bait, and the thicker side is the bottom. All right, so while we're waiting on the plastic to get hot, we're going to throw a little hand clamps on here. That ought to be plenty good. You probably could get by with just 2. Yeah, we're there now. You'll see now. See now how this plastic doesn't have any gel aspect. It's thin. That's what you're looking for. You can shoot it with a heat gun if you want. It normally is going to get around 330 is when it's going to make it do that. Make sure you stir it all up real good. Sometimes it'll get cold spots in it. All right, so here we go. We're going to put us a little salt in there. This is just the fine salt. I'm putting about 25% salt in this bait. A lot of the real popular ones have that salt content. I think the salt kind of helps firm the bait up. And also, if you're trying to match a bait that is made with a lot of salt, if you don't use the salt, it's going to be really hard. The salt actually is going to affect your color. So let's do the top first. So we got our black here. Now I told you I was going to show you how I make a drop. I like to hold the bottle level and just, you can see how to drop off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's our 8 drops of black. Got our sparkle violet. This is 015. It's not on my card, but this is 015 sparkle violet. Quarter tablespoon of that. Let's see, grab me a paper towel right quick. I'm gonna do a quarter teaspoon of 015 black. Three drops of 109. And when I'm saying 109, you can see this is a little faded, but every one of these bottles has not only a color name, but it also has a number. So if you see 109 or a color number on one of my recipes, that is referencing to a LureWorks color number. And then 5 drops of dark cinnamon. There we go. Now, that'll get us there on the back. On the bottom, we're going to put 1 drop of white. A little white goes a long way. 1 drop of white. A quarter teaspoon of violet highlight powder. And that's actually what this is for those of y'all that aren't familiar with it. It is actually just a powdered, it's a tinted powder. You can see when I turn the bottle, it's got kind of that purplish violet colored hue to it. And then 1 full teaspoon of the 015 Sparkle Violet. We'll stir those up real good and see what we got. That powder, you want to make sure when you put that powder in there that you get it off the edge, because it wants to stick real bad a lot of times to your cup. Stir our top up. I know that looks real dark in the cup, but when you shoot it, it'll lighten up a lot. You really can't really base your recipes off of what it looks like in the cup. If you do that normally, you're always going to end up on the light side. So we got them there now. Now all we're going to do, we're going to take our mold. If you look at the top of the mold, you remember I showed you a while ago. You see how this side is thinner than this side. Okay, the thin side is going to be the top. The thicker side is going to be the bottom. We're going to use a blending block here. Make sure it's clean. Yep. Stir them up one more time. You want to make sure when you stir this, you're kind of lifting off the bottom. Because, especially with the salt, if the salt will want to settle on you. And it's not going to take very much material to shoot this little 2.8 mold. You just want to make sure you got your bottom color on the bottom side of the mold, top color on the top side, and then just squeeze down. And it's full. You can see I didn't push, but probably a very little bit of material into the mold. Now, we'll let that sit for just a second. But one thing about these baits, and it really goes for all soft plastics, and it's something that's not talked about a whole lot. It was something that took me a while to figure out when I first started messing with this, is anytime you put this plastic material, plastisol, through the heating process, it needs time to cure. And I don't necessarily mean just time to cure where you can touch it. I mean it needs several days to cure. So if you're shooting these for yourself, you really need to shoot them. I think they need to cure at least 5 days, before they're going to become their final state of firmness, state of hardness, and that's going to affect the way they swim. So there's a little bit of patience required on making these soft plastics. We get one of these molds and we want to just run out there, make one and take it fishing the same day. And a lot of times you're not going to get the result that you want. You need to give these baits time to cure. That's really important for everything that you make out of this plastic material. When you first activate it, I feel like it needs a bare minimum of at least 48 hours. Plant there needs a little oil. Look at there. For those of y'all that have been trying to match the electric shad color, here's my recipe that I feel like is pretty darn good. Y'all have to let me know what y'all think about it from a color match standpoint, but I think that's pretty good. That's definitely good enough for the fish I'm fishing for. Now I'm going to show you. You see this little rack I've got right here? I was talking about curing them. To me, it's best if you can get you a little rack deal like this and slide them on there. Go ahead and make sure all the tails are separated. And let those baits hang just like that. They're going to cure perfectly straight. So, put one off one more time so you can really see the color in it. All right. Well, now you know. You want to make yourself some of your own swim baits? Now you know everything you need. If y'all have any questions, I encourage y'all to ask me. I don't mind at all. It may be a little while before I respond, but if you have any questions about anything pertaining to making your own soft plastics, feel free to reach out to me. Follow me on my YouTube channel. That's something that I'm really working towards growing here. I know a lot of y'all follow me on Facebook. Obviously, if you're seeing this, you follow me on Facebook. But if y'all click on my YouTube channel, these how-to videos that I'm doing now are going to become permanent on my YouTube channel. If you want to view them again later, if you see this on Facebook and you don't get the opportunity to watch it full length or so on and so forth at that point in time, go to my YouTube channel. That'll be the home of it. It's Cliff Pace Fishing on YouTube. It'll be there all the time. And you can send me a message on YouTube. You can send me a message on Facebook Messenger. Anything I can do to help you out, learn how to do this. It's something I really enjoy doing. It's something that I'm getting better and better at. And it's really rewarding to make your own bait and take it out and be successful on the water. The color deal, it's a trial and error. You're going to have to learn. I'm going to share with y'all a bunch of my recipes over the next year, but this is one that'll help you get started, and this is a real popular one.